Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the WeSportin podcast. We're back. It's been a while, but we're back with another episode of Baseball for Dummies because opening day has come and gone. And in fact, the first week of the season has come and gone. And we have a lot of news to get down. We have a lot of news to break down and a lot of things that happened. And we even got some power rankings. Nico and I have our own list of the top 5 teams in our MLB Power Rankings. But before we get into all that, this video is sponsored. Nico, you want to tell the people about our sponsor?
Yes, I do. Today we are sponsored by Burns Kish Funeral Home. And if you want to find a place for your Atlanta Braves to sit down and put them in a coffin, you should probably send them there. The Burns Kish Funeral Home sponsoring this video. Or you're the Red Sox. I know Red Sox are having an 0-3 start, and the Braves are having an 0-3 start after the Braves were very highly discussed before in some of our previous videos. And if you want to send them to a place, Burns Kish Funeral Home is the perfect spot for you to send them to.
Thank you to Burns Kish Funeral Home for sponsoring. Now,
yes,
let's get into the news of the first week of the baseball season. Right before opening day started, Francisco Lindor signed a mega deal. The shortstop for the New York Mets will stay a Met until 2031 as he signed a 10-year, $341 million extension. Now, we discussed Fernando Tatis's extension before in a previous video. Go check that out if you want more on Tatis's extension. This is $1 million more than Tatis's extension. So Francisco Lindor gets paid. However, the Mets have not played a game yet because the series between the Mets and the Nationals got canceled because some players on the Nationals got COVID. So the Mets will open up against the Phillies in Philadelphia. And the Nationals, their series against the Braves has been delayed a little bit, but they will open against Atlanta. Now we actually go into stuff that happened during the games. The first home run of the season on April 1st, Miguel Cabrera, the old lad, the future Hall of Famer, homers off of the reigning AL Cy Young winner Shane Bieber in the snow. It was just absolutely beautiful. Right field, down the line. You got some amazing pictures. Now, the next day, John Means had one of the best pitching performances of this young season. He threw 7 innings, only allowed 1 hit against the Boston Red Sox. Baltimore Orioles ended up sweeping my Red Sox in that series. So not exactly the start the Red Sox were looking for. In Baltimore, you couldn't ask for much more there. Mm-hmm. And then Corbin Burnes and José Berríos had a historic pitching duel because they both had no-hitters through 6 innings. Corbin Burnes got the first out of the 7th inning and then eventually gave up a solo home run to Byron Buxton. So his no-no went out the window, but Berríos got pulled after the 6th. That is still a very, very impressive pitching performance by those two. Burnes went 6 1/3, 1 hit, 1 earned run. It was the home run and 11 strikeouts. José Berríos went 6 no-hit innings with 12 strikeouts. So that was an incredibly fun pitching duel to watch if you love pitching duels. And I know I do. But later that day, White Sox catcher Yermín Mercedes made history by being the first player in the modern era to start the season 8 for 8. His first 8 at-bats, 8 hits. And he was on a tear against the Angels. It was really something special to see. But then the next day in Anaheim, Shohei Ohtani becomes the first player in Major League history to throw a ball 100 miles an hour and hit a ball 100 miles an hour in the first inning. He was pitching and batting second for the Angels, threw a fastball that clocked out at about 101 miles an hour and then hit a home run into right center field that clocked out at about 115 miles an hour off the bat. So that is incredibly impressive for Shohei. But yeah, that's all we got in baseball news right now. We're going to get into our power rankings after the first series or so of baseball. Nico and I each have our top 5 lists, and I'm going to let Nico open it up. Nico, who's 5th on your list?
All right. Well, 5th is a team that I do believe that we discussed a lot about before the season even began. And I said this is one of my sleeper teams, and a lot of people have this sleeper team as well. But I think I talked very highly of them before the season started. It's the Toronto Blue Jays. I do believe with a lot of additions that they brought over during the offseason with bringing, I believe, George Springer, bringing him over there as well, and the up and coming of Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who's been outstanding. We've seen great flashes of him, just like his father. And yeah, I have the Blue Jays here, and right now they're sitting at 2-1. I believe they're starting off their series next against the Rangers, as they went 2-1 against the Yankees in their first opening series of the season. So let's see how they do against the Rangers. But I can see them being a really dark horse team in this, in the AL really soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a really good start for Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Now, fifth on my power rankings are the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, they are 3-0 right now. They started off sweeping against the Atlanta Braves, who a lot of people thought Atlanta is going to run away with the NL East and be the NL East favorites. But that's not an ideal start for the Braves. But for the Phillies, that's exactly how you want to start the season. 3-0, sweeping the Braves. They're on to play the New York Mets at home. And they played really well in this series, so I have them at 5.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, number 4, this team to me personally, yes, they're undefeated, but I just really believe, you know. The Houston Astros sitting at 4-0 right now. So, yeah, I didn't want to, you know, butcher the Astros that much, but you know, it's good. It's good to tease them. Good to tease them a little bit. Astros have been hitting lights out though, baseball wise though. I mean, they got 8 runs in the first game against the Athletics, and then 9, and then they hit 9 straight. Got 9 straight runs in the last 3 games. I mean, to me personally, the Astros are just on that hot streak. Now, let's just hope that it has nothing to do with broken bats and beating trash cans. But, you know, let's just see if the Houston Astros can keep it up and keep going. But I have them sitting at 4.
Oh, man, you really had to dig at the Astros like that, didn't you?
I had to. It was funny. It's funny.
Your former favorite team.
Yeah.
Now, who I have at the number 4 spot in the power rankings is a team that Nico has at number 5. I have the Toronto Blue Jays. Nico pretty much said it all. They added George Springer, even though he's on the injured list right now. I mean, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, Cavan Biggio, that young hitting core can do wonders for the offense. But the thing that's really surprised me about Toronto in their series win against New York was their pitching, especially Julian Merryweather, who racked up 2 saves in the first series. Julian Merryweather has been lights out. He has been surprisingly good. And the one thing that I said was going to hold Toronto back was their pitching, and that was kind of the question mark for me. If they can really shore it up, I think they'll be contenders here. And they did a really good job all around in New York in their opening series. So that is why I have Toronto at 4.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, Toronto's an amazing team. Not amazing, but they're most of the up-and-coming team.
You really like Toronto. You really like the Jays.
Yeah, I respect the Blue Jays. Like, you can't really hate the Blue Jays just because, you know, you just can't hate them. Like, they're a good team. I mean, they're all around a great team. So, yeah. But let's move on now to 3. So my third team is actually not a very kind of a surprising team personally, just because there's so many great teams in baseball right now. But I'm going to go with the Phillies. I do believe the Phillies is always just a team with a lot of hype centered around them, obviously around Bryce Harper, of course, you know, Bryce Harper being their main guy and all that. But I mean, let's take a look at it though. I mean, this team personally, they're playing in the NL East right now. They're going up against, you know, Nationals, Mets, Marlins, Braves. And if the Braves, with the way that they're playing right now, if that fluke that they're on right now continues, don't be surprised if we see the Phillies take that division, maybe away from the Marlins as well. And if the Mets can, it's basically, I look at it as between the Mets versus the Phillies, Mets versus Phillies.
Whoa.
But right now,
don't be already ruling Atlanta out?
I could rule Atlanta. I mean, I'm not ruling Atlanta out, but if they continue with this, don't be surprised if you see the Phillies take this division.
That's true. I mean, it's not a great start, but this is a marathon, not a sprint. So I think anything can happen. It's too soon to count any team out of a divisional race. Mm-hmm. But to say that the 2 horses in the NL East are the Phillies and the Mets, ooh, that's bold. That is very bold.
But let's look at this. Let's look at this real quick, though. The Mets, they, you know, with I'm probably gonna butcher his name because, you know, baseball and Nico just don't names somewhere. With, I believe it's DeGrom, right? It's DeGrom. Yeah, he's on there. DeGrom. Yeah, Jacob DeGrom. I mean, he's an amazing athlete as well. And we have guys like Francisco Lindor. We've seen the Mets build this offseason.
No. I'm not questioning the Mets.
Oh, you're questioning the Phillies.
Philadelphia, yeah.
I mean,
because like, because in years past for Philadelphia, they've always been a team like you've said, they've spent a lot, got a lot of hype, got a lot of big name guys. Like they brought Zach Wheeler in, they brought in Jake Arrieta in. That experiment failed, and Jake Arrieta is now back in Chicago. They brought in McCutchen. You know, they have homegrown talent, like they brought back Real Muto, homegrown talent like Alec Boehm at third base, Reese Hoskins at first base. But the thing about me is what is different about this year's Philly team than in years past? Because last year, like years past, the Phillies have been very, very mediocre, and they've been falling short of their playoff expectations. So I don't really see a reason to expect anything different until proven that this team is different. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing though. With one, obviously the leader being Bryce Harper on that team, regardless. Bryce Harper, this season has, I know it's about 3 to 4 games in, but it has about what? I believe he has three bases, three walks basically. He has 3 strikeouts, hasn't had a single RBI this whole season yet. I think that they're a slow started team, but I do believe with the amount of depth that they have on their roster and the way that they're progressing, I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, I could see the Phillies taking this division.
All right. Because at number 3 in my power rankings, I have the Houston Astros. They're undefeated 4-0. The reason I have them so high is because they went into Oakland, Oakland won that division last year, and they absolutely thrashed the Athletics. Thrashed. I mean, Nico, you talked about the offense. I mean, Bregman, Correa, Altuve, Brantley, all those guys firing on all cylinders. Their pitching looked fantastic. Greinke pitched well. McCullers threw a gem. The Astros have gotten off to a really hot start. I mean, is it because of sign stealing? Who's to say? I don't think it is. I highly, highly doubt it is. I don't think you do that again after getting caught once like that.
If I could say that one thing, man, here's the thing. I don't even think with the Astros, even if this is going to sound stupid coming out of my mouth, but bear with me. With a team with that many great hitters like the Astros, they don't have to cheat. I mean, we know their potential.
Like you are 100% right.
Yeah.
They don't have to cheat to win.
No, they don't. I mean, that team is easily just stacked regardless. I mean, you don't even have to cheat for these guys to even be good. You got players like Jose Altuve, Justin Verlander, Michael Brantley, like you said, Alex Bregman, Zach Greinke, pitcher, Carlos Correa, one of my favorite players in the league. I love Carlos Correa, actually.
Oh,
yeah, but
I'm taking a lot of flack for saying that, bud.
Who cares, man? But at the end of the day, guys, it really comes down to, this team can hit the ball insanely well. Their pitching is very, it's very good, allowing actually 1 run in the last game they actually played against the Oakland A's. But this team can always make a run. Always make a run. Like I said, they don't need to cheat. They don't have to do anything. No. That team can hit the ball like it's no one's business.
Exactly. I mean, that's why I have them at number 3. Nico, who you got at number 2?
At number 2, it's really tough because it's really the battle of California for me, because I either have the San Diego Padres or I got the Los Angeles Dodgers. But as of right now, I'm going to stick with going with I'm going to be bold. I'm going to give number 2 to the Dodgers. Here's my thing on the Dodgers, guys. Right now, we all know the Dodgers to be an amazing, with an amazing team, powerhouse team on the offensive, defensive, pitching, whatnot. They played the Rockies in a 3-game series, which in that 3-game series, the Rockies beat them in the first game, 8-5, and then the Dodgers came back, hit 11 runs, got 11-6.
The Dodgers are 3-1.
Yeah, they're 3-1 right now, and the thing is, as well, is it's just if you see the upside that the Padres give more, I would rather ride with the Padres. I mean, the Padres are legitimate contenders to me personally. I mean, and I can see them going very far. And they pitched a no. I believe it's no hitter. Yeah, they pitched a no hitter against the Diamondbacks a couple of days ago on the 3rd, and they pitched a no hitter. And I mean, this team, it can get hot whenever they can. And I'm gonna stick with them going at. I'm gonna stick with the Dodgers at 2, and you already know who my number 1 is the Padres.
All right. I don't know if I didn't hear about the no-hitter, but I mean,
Yeah, 7-0 Arizona Diamondbacks versus the San Diego Padres.
that would be a shutout.
Shutout. My bad. I almost
Yeah.
cussed.
It's okay. No-hitter is when the team doesn't get any hits. Shutout is when the team doesn't get any runs. Yeah, no-hitters are incredibly rare. So whenever a no-hitter happens, kind of like, whoa, that's what made Burnes versus Berríos so entertaining, because it rarely happens that one pitcher has given up no hits through 6 innings, but both had no hits through 6 innings. So that was really impressive to watch there. But going on to my power rankings, I actually have the reverse as Nico. I have the Padres at 2 and the Dodgers at 1. I like what San Diego brings to the table. I like them a lot. Like, obviously, they're Nico's favorite team. I like what they have to bring. Offensively, Tatis is a great talent. They still have Machado. Their outfield is really good, really versatile. The pitching staff is really good. Darvish, Snell, Musgrove, Paddock, Lamet, and whatnot. Their bullpen is really good, but the Dodgers are just far and away the best team in baseball. As much as the Padres do things well, everything well that the Padres do, it almost seems that the Dodgers do it better. I like the Dodgers lineup better. I like their pitching rotation better. I like their bullpen better. And just because the Dodgers dropped a game to the Rockies does not mean that they're not the best team in baseball.
No, and that's not what I'm implying.
They're still the best team in baseball, and they're still at number 1 in my power rankings.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's not what I'm disregarding either at the fact. It's just that we're seeing guys like, let's say, for instance, like Manny Machado. I know the name. It's hard to, anyways.
Pronunciation's hard.
Yeah, no, but he's already had a hot start. I mean, not a hot start, but he's had a good start this season. Already hitting a home run this season. He's been doing really good. Has 2 RBIs. I mean, he's having a great season. A little bit better of an offensive season as my guy Fernando Tatis. But Manny's having a good season too, and I think it's really good that Manny can also take some load off of Tati. And I know Tatis has a lot of eyes looking at him right now. But it's also good to have that leader like Machado. So, yeah.
I mean, we'll see how the season plays out. I mean, it's still very early. We will be back with more power rankings, more episodes of Baseball for Dummies as the season gets underway. But yeah, that'll wrap it up for the 4th installment of Baseball for Dummies. If you want to watch our other stuff on the WeSportin channel, we've been covering March Madness all tournament long. We have trivia that we posted, NCAA March Madness trivia. We have NFL, NBA, even more Baseball for Dummies. We have all that. So go like, subscribe, comment, and until next time, we out. Peace.